I made fun of a white girl for being poor because she was being racist. I was sitting in the cafeteria with my friends when this girl Emma walks up to our table. Emma was one of those kids who always had something to say about everyone, but never to their face, you know? She plops down next to us without being invited and starts talking about how her mom was complaining about having to work with this new lady at the grocery store. Then Emma goes, "She was probably here illegally anyway. My mom said she could barely speak English and was taking jobs from real Americans." I'm sitting there like, what the hell? My family came here when I was 5, and my dad worked his ass off at that same grocery store chain for years before he could afford to open his own shop. So I'm already pissed, but then Emma keeps going. "I don't get why they even hire people like that. They're probably sending all their money back to Mexico or wherever." She said it with this disgusted look on her face, like she was talking about something gross she stepped in. That's when I lost it. I looked at her and said, "That's funny coming from someone whose family shops at the dollar store and whose mom works at the same place you're complaining about." Emma's face went red and she stuttered, "That's different. We're just going through a rough patch." I wasn't done though. "Oh really? Is that why you wear the same 3 shirts every week? And why you always ask people for lunch money? At least the people you're talking about actually work for their money instead of begging classmates for quarters." My friend Jake was trying not to laugh next to me, but I could see him smirking. Emma looked around the table and realized nobody was going to defend her racist comments. "You can't talk to me like that," she said, but her voice was shaky now. "Why not? You think being white and poor makes you better than being brown and working? At least my family doesn't talk trash about other people trying to survive." I was getting louder, and people at other tables were starting to look. Emma stood up and tried to save face. "Whatever. You people always stick together anyway." That's when Jake finally spoke up. "Nah, Emma, you need to leave. That's messed up and you know it." She grabbed her knockoff purse and stomped off, but not before turning around and yelling, "At least I was born here," I yelled back. "And look what you've done with that privilege. Still broke and still bitter." The whole cafeteria went quiet for a second. Then people started laughing and clapping. Emma never sat at our table again, and honestly, she avoided me for the rest of high school. A few weeks later, I heard from someone that Emma's mom got promoted to shift supervisor at the grocery store, working directly under the same woman Emma had been talking shit about. Apparently, the lady was actually the most experienced employee there and had been training new supervisors for years. The best part? My dad randomly ran into Emma's mom at the bank a month later. Turns out she recognized him from when he worked at the store, and she thanked him for helping her learn the register system when she first started. She had no idea her daughter had been saying that stuff about her coworkers. I never told my dad what Emma said, but I did tell him that some girl at school learned not to judge people based on where they come from. He just smiled and said, "Good. Everyone deserves respect when they're working hard." Emma eventually moved schools senior year. I heard it was because her family couldn't afford the district anymore, but I honestly don't know if that's true.